footballgameplan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Emery Hunt, dissolve the playbook. Bring you a 2011 draft preview special of the tight end positions. We're going to go through my list 1 through 10 and also take a look at some sleepers and some small school prospects that you want to keep an eye on. So let's just jump right into my list and see who I have on my draft board number 1. DJ Williams is an impressive athlete that comes out of Arkansas. Was a dynamite playmaker for the Razorbacks, and a lot of people want to look at his size and say he's too small to play tight end, but I look at what he's done on the field in his production. He's a guy that always gets open, has tremendous athleticism, very agile, catches the football with his hands, and when he's asked to block, he's a very willing blocker, a guy that reminds me a lot of Keith Jackson that used to play for the Eagles, Dolphins, and Packers back in the day. Kyle Rudolph has been on NFL radars for quite some time now. Here's a guy that's very talented, catches the football away from his body, is a strong blocker, and has the ability to add weight to be even better in the run blocking aspect. More of a complete tight end, doesn't have a lot of speed, and is a little stiff at times, but he reminds me a lot of Jason Witten, a guy that always finds his way into the open areas, be able to sit down in the zone, be able to cause problems for defenses, and he should do the same thing in the NFL. You're about to see a string of these talented hybrid type tight ends, and Lance Kendrick is that type of player. A guy that is always, you could put him on the move, you could put him out wide, you could put him in the flank, you could put him with his hand in the ground, but he's not as strong at the point of attack as most tight ends are. But so he does have to get a little bit more physical in his run blocking aspect, but as far as like pass catching ability, no one can do it better. Now here's one of my more favorite tight end targets in this draft, Charlie Gantt out of Michigan State, a guy that's a very solid all-around player. His only weakness is he has to get a little bit stronger because he can get ragged on a little bit in the run blocking department, but as far as like being a very solid target, he reminds me a lot of Heath Miller that plays for the Steelers, a guy that's not going to wow you, but is very, very consistent. Here's quite possibly the best blocking tight end in the draft, Luke Stocker out of Tennessee. Wasn't asked to catch a lot of passes at Tennessee due to some of the quarterback issues that they had, but don't underestimate his ability to catch the football. He does have reliable hands. One thing that's his weakness, he's not overly athletic. He's going to have to get a little bit better in his route running. That's because he wasn't asked to do so much of it at Tennessee, but as far as run blocking is concerned, he's a guy that you want on your team, a guy that's going to make that key block to spring those long runs. Reminds me a lot of Kevin Boss that plays for the New York Giants. Athleticism is Rob Hauser's middle name. Here's a guy that's uber athletic, a guy that can catch the football with his hands, has tremendous burst. His burst and quickness is that of a wide receiver. Now the only weakness, being that he's 6'5", 235, is he just a big wide receiver or is he a tight end? And if he's a tight end, he's going to have to really work on his blocking ability. But if you want to get a guy that can be an H-back or a split out tight end, then Hauser is your guy. Is tremendous pass catcher out of Florida Atlantic University. Now here's some other tight end prospects that you want to keep an eye on. Look at North Carolina, Zach Pianalto. Here's a guy that can understand coverage. Very small player. He has a little bit of injury-prone problems, but he's a guy that has reliable hands, understands coverage, and can be a solid H-back for any team in the league. Another one of those hybrid type players, Mike McNeil out of Nebraska, a guy that plays and is built like a wide receiver, so he needs to add bulk. He has to get stronger in the run department, but here's a guy you might not want to put his hand in the ground. You might want to split him out. He can catch the football like anyone in the country. Top small school tight end prospects that you want to look out for this year. Skylar Ort out of Northern Iowa, a guy that's surprisingly athletic for his size. Wasn't really asked to do much in Northern Iowa's offense, but that's why he's a body catcher, a guy that has a lot of upside, and if you're patient with him, he could be a star in this league. Steven Skelton is another one of those guys you want to keep away from the line of scrimmage because he struggles with his hand in the ground, but as far as sheer athleticism is concerned, he can make all the plays, a natural catcher with his hands, and has outstanding body control. Here are some other quality tight end prospects that you can look out for in this draft. One guy that jumps out on the list is Wesley Saunders. If he can get himself together off the field, he's a tremendous talent. For more draft prospect rankings, visit footballgameplan.com/draft or visit our YouTube channel at youtube.com/footballgameplan and listen to our Football Game Plan radio show at blogtalkradio.com/footballgameplan.